Thanks everybody for coming back to Real YouTube Mastermind. My name is Jeremy Knight, your host and Austin Realtor. Today I have a very, very special guest, somebody who has done life-changing business in their business by implementing YouTube as a lead strategy. Ellen Pitts will be on today. We're going to talk about everything she's done, going from production. We'll talk about her production before and after, and then we're going to go through and give you some good tips. We're also going to talk about what she's done to kind of grow a team since YouTube. So this is a really exciting interview. Ellen is all over the place, especially on YouTube Mastermind, on Facebook, so you can catch her on there. And if you ever have questions for Ellen, definitely reach out to her. I'm sure she'd love to help you. She's passionate about YouTube. So here we go. Let's bring on Ellen. Ellen.
Good morning. How you doing?
Fantastic. Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about your story, what you were doing before YouTube, and why you even started this whole crazy YouTube thing.
Okay, so before I started YouTube, I was a pretty small agent. I mean, my biggest year was $5 million. And I'm an introvert. I'm not like a like realtors are out there, go to parties, do all this extroverty sort of stuff, talking to all these people. I've just never been that way. So what I was doing before YouTube was, I was doing blogging and I was doing social media. So I would be in like the Facebook groups, moms groups and stuff like that. And people would come on and say, hey, I'm moving to the area. And I was writing a lot of blog posts to kind of help people with things that they wanted to know about the area, and people found them really helpful. So I got most of my business that way, which, 5 billion is actually not that bad for a solo agent. So I was doing blogging and Facebook groups, kind of the combination of those things, and getting my business from that. And then I had a lot of content out there on my website, and I was doing like SEO marketing too. So my website was getting some pretty high ranking stuff for some big keywords. But I felt like I needed to get my content out there farther. So I hired two women who were marketing gurus or whatever in Facebook. And so they were going to help me kind of get my content out there farther and get more business from it. And the one thing they told me that I absolutely had to do was get in front of a camera, which scared the life out of me. I mean, I was horrified that I would have to get in front of a camera. I've always been camera shy. I don't like public speaking. I am a shy person. But I paid them a lot of money. And so I paid them a lot of money, and I was like, okay, I have to do what they say if I paid them all this money to do this stuff. So I got in front of the camera. The first interview that I did, and it was for Facebook, it wasn't for YouTube. The first interview that I did was a bakery in the town where I work. And I just interviewed the owner of the shop and kind of showcased the type of stuff that they had there or whatever. And I was shaking so bad, I couldn't breathe. I mean, literally, I was shaking and I couldn't take a breath big enough to be able to talk. And the bakery owner was just as bad. She was worse, actually. And then when I saw the video, I was like, well, you can't really tell that I'm that anxious by looking at the video. You can't tell at all. Like, I looked like I was on top of it. And I do tend to have a pretty good persona on camera, but I think just knowing that, it helped me to kind of get over that hump. And then I started doing YouTube. Karen Carr is, one of the YouTube kind of training people. And I took her class and I started my YouTube channel. I started in 2018. And I did a few videos and I had a little bit of success with it. I had like a couple of clients, I think, in that year from it, like one or two, something like that. I can't remember exactly. And then I kind of just let it go for a little while because it was just too difficult for me to do as a single person. I felt like I needed somebody to shoot for me, and yet I didn't have the money to hire somebody. And then COVID happened. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to buckle down and I'm going to do videos like crazy. And I started the beginning of 2020 and I just started putting out content. And I had my husband kind of helping me on the side. And so he was doing a lot of the videography for me, and he started helping with the editing. And I was helping my clients while he was doing that. And then the channel actually started to take off after about maybe 6 to 8 months. And it was around that time that he decided that he didn't want to go back to his job as a teacher. And so he quit his job, and I was getting really busy with the channel. and I can't remember. I'm sorry, I can't remember my numbers from last year. So, but I was getting enough business and enough leads that I was like, you know what? Let's just do 100% this. You can quit your job, work with me, and we'll just kind of double down and make it work. And so that's what we did. And so by 2021, I mean, by the end of 2020, I was like, I've got to do something. I'm getting so busy that I'm just not going to be able to handle it. And one of my big fears has always been that I won't give good service to people, that I'll get too busy and I won't give good service, because I've seen a lot of realtors do that. You know, you get busy and you just kind of blow people off. And I just never wanted to be like that. So at that point, I changed brokerages and I went to the brokerage where I am now, which has a really good system of support for agents. And it's designed for higher producing agents to give them the support that they need to have a good work-life balance. And so when I did that, I had a really good pool of agents to kind of pull into a team environment. So this particular brokerage, it's called Hunter Road. They don't do teams per se, but they have paid staff that are support for the agents. And so I just did it a little bit differently. I decided that I didn't want to manage all of the transactions myself. I wanted to have, you know, more of a team environment, even though that was different than what they were doing there. So I'm kind of like the one maverick that's actually doing that. But I have 6 agents that I refer to. And because of the way it's set up and the way their back end is, I can see how they follow up with these clients. You know, I can see what they, you know, when they talk to them, when they touch base, all that sort of stuff. So I know who's doing a good job. And so it allowed me to kind of cut through a lot of that time that it takes to grow a team by just using kind of their back end tools. And so I get like, you know, the best agent. I mean, I feel like they're better agents than me, honestly. They're really, really good at what they do. And it frees me up to do more YouTube. And so,
That's awesome.
yeah. So, anyway, I guess I answered that question really
You
long
did.
format.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. So this is pretty amazing. So you took the similar path I took, right? You know, I was doing okay production before COVID hit, and then all of a sudden, you know, I had already started the YouTube stuff, and I took the time during COVID just to do more content. Same thing you
Yeah.
did. And can you say that buckling down, putting in that time, putting the effort has been life changing?
100%. I mean, life changing. Like I can't even tell you. I mean, well,
Yeah.
I mean, so my highest year before YouTube was $5 million. And this year I will easily break 30 million for the year.
That's insane. All right.
Which
So what market are you in?
Raleigh, Durham.
Raleigh, Durham. And so there's a
Yeah,
lot of really big agents out there, right? In Raleigh, right?
there
They're doing
are.
tons of transactions in Raleigh because Raleigh
Yeah.
is one of those places people are moving. So you've been able to cut through the minutia using YouTube. Do you find that people come up to you more and be like, "Oh my gosh, you're Ellen, you're on YouTube," or they come to you more over some of those big producing agents because your face is all over the place now?
I think, well, they find my YouTube channel, and what people tell me is the content is really helpful, and that you know, I seem competent and like I know the area and I know what I'm doing. And I think they relate to my personality. A lot of them tell me that I'm really funny and I crack them up. And so, which I actually am one of those people that, although I'm kind of introverted, I'm actually really sarcastic. And so a lot of that comes through, that like personality comes through on my YouTube channel in a way that I had a hard time like connecting with my clients before YouTube, because you meet them and they don't really know you. You know what I mean? They don't know what kind of person you are. Well, here they've sat there and watched 40 hours of my videos before they even talk to me. And they kind of know me and they trust me and they know what type of person I am. And so it just makes the relationship a lot easier.
That's awesome. Yeah. And do you find that working with these clients now is a lot more fun than it was when you're doing blog posts 2, 3 years ago?
It certainly was. I don't work directly with the clients anymore. So, you know, I did, I know, right. Right. But, you know, so the buyer's agents do that. But yes, that's what I was finding, that they're just phenomenal clients. they trust you. They know you're not like trying to screw them over or trying to give them bad advice or whatever, because I'm extremely honest on my channel. And I think, even if it's something that's not going to benefit me or doesn't seem like it's going to benefit me, I'll tell people, you know what I mean? I've got enough business. I don't care if if you use me, use somebody else, whatever, use who you feel that you can trust. And they know that, they can feel that. And so there's a level of trust there that people are willing to ask me questions when they know that I'm going to give them an honest answer.
So that actually brings up a really good question for me. Is that when agents think about YouTube, they think that or the problem I said they run into is that they do a couple videos and then they don't see any traction from it, right? They put in this time effort, they sit back, okay, where's the leads, and then they don't come
Right.
in. What do you think for an agent that's getting into YouTube? What do you think? Where at what point do you think that you really started seeing leads from YouTube? How many videos in? Was it a specific video?
I would say it was about 6 months, and I just don't remember what video it was. But it was about 6 months in. So it takes some time, and part of that is the YouTube algorithm. I mean, YouTube doesn't want to show videos of people that don't have a lot of videos. I mean, that's not always true. If you have a banger video, they will. But they're more likely going to show videos of people that have a ton of videos that people want to watch, because they want people to keep watching. So if you have 100 videos and 50 of them are all really good, YouTube's going to be more likely to show your channel, just because they know people are going to keep watching your stuff. But if you've got 2 videos, they're going to be less likely to show it because, one, let's face it, you don't know what you're doing yet, more than likely. If you're a realtor and you're just starting with videos, it takes some time to actually gain some knowledge of how to make a good video. I think I heard somebody say once that it takes 30 videos before you are decent at these are all my like really old ones that are just
Yeah. I
crappy.
love all
Most of
my
them don't
old
get any
ones.
views.
I love all my old ones because there's like ridiculous and they still get tons of views.
Yeah, some of them do, but most of them really don't get that many views. My strategy fit switch, and I'm getting ready to switch my content strategy again right now. I'm in the middle of kind of a shift. There's another agent in my market he started after me, but he gets way more views than I do. His channel has grown more than mine. And one of the reasons is because he uses a lot of like negative titles, and YouTube
Yep.
loves that crap. They love
Yep.
it. I don't want to do that. And so I never have, and I still get tons of business, but I don't get the views. And I just want to remain true to myself and what I enjoy and what I think is good. Not that I think there's anything wrong with like telling people true stories when they're negative. I mean, I think that's valuable too, but it's not me. It's not what I want to do.
Yep.
So I think there's something about that too. Like you kind of have to do. I don't think everybody should do YouTube. I really don't. I think if it's something that you think you would enjoy, or you could imagine yourself enjoying it, do it. Give it at least 6 months to a year before you hang in the towel. But like some people wouldn't like it. It's not their style. I think everybody's got a different style for how they are going to be able to get business. You know what I mean? And you have to like it because it's a lot of work.
I think that's the one thing people don't understand. I think there's two parts to this. Some people don't understand how much work goes into having a
Yeah.
YouTube channel and trying to get business and spending 6 months doing something that's not really going to get you leads. And then
Right.
after 6 months, you're like burnt out. And then all of a sudden the leads start coming in and you're like, oh, wait, maybe I should still keep doing this. The
Right.
other thing is, I think that people just get burnt out, And so um, the workload that goes into YouTube for me, I put out a video a week. I have my live stream, and then we cut up clips from the live stream and put those out later in the week. I've started doing some of those shorts to see how that plays out because I think at a
Hmm.
certain point, YouTube is going to really reward people with shorts. But
Probably. Yeah.
uh, but my question to you is: you've been building this channel for a while. How many videos are you trying to get out per week? And what do you think is the good amount of time your video should be, like the length in the video?
So I try and do one video a week. I've actually, my daughter had a baby a few weeks ago, so that's kind of
Congratulations.
it's taken some of my time away from it, and I've been a little haphazard. But I try and do one video a week. For me, I think a 10 to 12 minute video is perfect for my channel. And it depends on what kind of content. I mean, like I said, I put out a more vloggy style video. I'm getting ready to put out a more vloggy style video, and it's going to be like 15 minutes. So we'll see how that goes. I have a feeling it'll do well. But it really depends on what type of content that you do. But for sure, my 12-minute-ish videos do perform the best.
Well, let
And
me
it's
know
hard to put
how.
out a 12-minute video. They're long. It takes a long time to edit that. It takes a long time to create it, you know?
Well, let me know how those vlog videos do. I know there's one other agent I know of in Dallas that does those vloggy style videos, and I thought about adding that into my, something that we do. But man, you know, I can only stand myself for like 8 to 10 minutes on YouTube,
Yeah,
so I couldn't imagine somebody following me around with a camera all day and me having to be on for like 4 or 5 hours to film a 15-minute vlog.
right.
So that's where I'm like,
It's about storytelling. You have to enjoy storytelling, and I do, and I've always wanted to do that, but it's hard to get. You have to get out of the box, and it's not easy to kind of jump out of your comfort zone. But I had more fun this past week filming this thing than I've ever had doing video so far. So
awesome.
hopefully it'll do well, and I won't be like, oh crap, nobody watched it. There we go. It's down for the count. There it is.
You're good.
I hate these things. Now you see why I hate them.
No, that's cool. I shot one with Rod yesterday. I had to cut out quite a bit. I mean, we went from 25-minute video down to like 10 or 19. So you're good. All right. So here's my next question. Piggybacking off of that, you're starting to do vlogs. If somebody's getting into YouTube, what content should they be working on? What should they be focusing on? I know everybody's different, right? So what would your recommendation be for somebody that's trying to figure out what their content should be?
I would say do what you enjoy. If you're an outdoors person, you want to focus. Now it's a real estate channel, so you want to focus on other outdoors people. And if you like being outdoors, this is where you should live. These are the best neighborhoods for it. These are the best parks to hang out at. If you want to live near this type of stuff, this is where you want to be. I mean, I would focus on whatever it is that is your thing. If you're a sports person, focus on that. I mean, just pick what you enjoy, because it's a lot of work. And so you have to enjoy doing it. You have to feel like, wow, this is so much fun. I just had a good time. Now, of course, there's always a slog with every kind of work, but I would say pick something that you enjoy and create the channel around that.
I'm getting so sick of doing neighborhood videos. I haven't been putting them out like, the 5 best neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And like you said about the negative, negative does sell on YouTube. And so
Yeah.
a lot of my titles are a little more I hate to use the term clickbaity now, but
Yeah.
in order to get views, I feel like you have to be some sort of clickbaitiness.
You
So
do.
with your thumbnails and titles, obviously you do phenomenal thumbnails and you have really good titles. What do you think a strategy should be for somebody doing thumbnails and titles? Like, obviously we know that that's probably one of the most important things,
Right.
but what's your recommendation for somebody trying to optimize that?
Um, I mean, I feel like I'm not fantastic at thumbnails. My husband makes my thumbnails, actually. You got to find something that's going to grab somebody's eye. So, the
This
color.
market crash fire right here, I almost clicked on it because it's such a good thumbnail.
Yeah,
I
that one
like
I
that.
actually made. That's one of the few that I made. I think I copied Christina Smallhorns. So there's my other recommendation: copy somebody,
Yeah, good.
because yeah, that is a copy of hers, actually. So, I mean, you got to make them colorful so that they stand out and look different. You also want to have something on your thumbnails that's similar across all your thumbnails. That way, if people have watched 2 or 3 of your videos and they see that they like them and they're like, oh, I like this creator, she's cool or whatever. When they see another one of your videos, when YouTube presents it to them, they know it's yours. So you want some kind of similarity across every one of your thumbnails, so that whether it's your face or a particular font or something like that, so that people can recognize them as yours. So
Well,
that's one tip.
you have the watermark in every corner except for your last thumbnail last week. What happened?
Hang on a second. We got
Okay,
barking dogs and I can't
you're
hear you.
good.
Okay. Sorry. Say that again.
So on looking at all your thumbnails, talking about I'm not gonna be able to say that word, uniformness. There you go. Your last thumbnail, how high is too high? There's no watermark.
That's because I made that one and I don't usually make them and I forgot. So
Oh,
that's all that
oh,
is.
Main Street too. There you go. Okay, cool. So
Yeah. So
with most new agents when they get into YouTube, I would say people like you, like Karen, obviously, Malcolm, they're kind of and Christina are the pioneers in what it takes to, really grow, and Ken Posick really to grow a good YouTube channel. What are some of the mistakes that you've learned along the way that have changed your channel to what it is now?
I think realtors make this mistake in all marketing. They think it's about them. You have to get into the head of the viewer. What is the viewer interested in listening to? They don't care about you. Don't get on the camera and talk about I this and I did that and I would. If you say I in your videos, people are just going to turn it off. They're not even going to watch it. You have to talk about things that they want to hear. So think about, if I was moving somewhere, or if I was trying to buy a house, or whatever it is your niche is, what questions are they asking? And answer those questions. Actually, that's how I first started my YouTube channel. I made videos about every question that every buyer had ever asked me, or seller had ever asked me about the real estate process. Probably if I had stuck that out, that probably would have grown like on a more of a national scale. Like my channel is much more local now. But so really getting into the head of the viewer and of the buyer and seller and what they're really looking at, or what they're really asking, and answering those questions and answering them well. And also, don't know exactly who your audience is. You generally don't want to mix buyer and seller audiences on the same channel, because it's usually two people or two different, people, unless you focus on someone who's both buying and selling at the same time, maybe. But for the most part, you either have to have a buyer channel or a seller channel.
Interesting. Yeah, I've started commingling a little bit, and I've noticed that I'm
Have
getting
you?
a lot more seller leads than I was before. And I think that's one of the critiques why people say, "Oh, I'm not going to do YouTubes. It's all buyers." I'm
Hmm.
probably getting, three or four good. I'm setting three or four listing appointments a week. So that's
Really?
actually interesting. Yeah. So I mean, that's actually a good point. I'm thinking maybe at some point, maybe I'll take my seller content off and create a channel and just keep them separate. That's not a bad way to go. Okay, so let's talk about this some more. So you've had major success. You've talked about some of the tips that you've done. You've talked about some of the things that you don't recommend agents to do. What are your final notes for agents that are getting into YouTube? What if there's one key takeaway from all this conversation, what do you think the key takeaway should be?
I'd have to say there's two. Either, and I've already said these things, consistency. You just have to do it for a long period of time, and you have to do it over and over and over again, and improve everything. Every time you make a new video, improve on the last one. And then the other thing is, do what you enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, this is a slog. It's a lot of work. Do something that you like, so that you enjoy doing it when you get, totally bored a year or two in, and you're like, stab me in the eye with a pencil. If I make another video, I'm going to just die. So, yeah, do something you like.
Awesome. Well, those are all the questions I have for today. I really appreciate you coming on. This has been a delight. I know we get to see each other on Facebook and comment back and forth, but seeing you in person, kind of through video, has been amazing. I appreciate the time, and we'll catch you in the next one. If you found value in this, make sure you subscribe. If you have other agent friends that you want to share this to and tell them to subscribe, I would appreciate that. Jeremy Knight with the Knight Group, your favorite awesome realtor. We'll catch you on the next video. Thanks.